We are live. We are live. We are live. This morning on the huddle, I have a question for you. My question is simply this: are you a person that's struggling with doing live streaming? Are you struggling in planning it out before you go live? Are you struggling when you go live and you hit the button? Are you struggling to go live and end the broadcast after the live stream is ended? Well, if that's you, we've got some tips this morning on why you need to have a live stream checklist. So do me a favor, grab yourself a cup of coffee and huddle up because it's time for the huddle. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then we want to welcome you to the show. As we said this morning, we want to talk about the importance of why we need to have a live stream checklist. Live streaming is something that is just, when you just think about it, over maybe 2 years now, has really exploded on platforms such as YouTube, now LinkedIn, and of course, Facebook Live. But live streaming is really exploded. And it's something that we're seeing a lot of people doing now. But a lot of people are doing it, but are they being successful at it? And so we want to talk about some tips and some strategies, such as having a live stream checklist that's going to help you to have an engaging live stream when you go live, and an engaging live stream that after the broadcast is ended, you're getting replay views. But before we do that, we want to say, if you're watching us this morning on YouTube, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Let us know if you're part of Team Live by putting in the chat hashtag Team Live. And if you're going to be watching the replay, hashtag Team Replay. We can't forget the replay crew, the posse, the online squad that comes through and watches after the broadcast is live. And already we see one individual that's already kicking this off, a part of Team Live, our very special auntie of live stream, Denise Jordan, and then all the way from London, I hope we got that right, Mr. Ash Bowling is joining us here in Team Live. And so as you're just coming in, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. And those of you who may be watching a part of Team Live, but you're doing some work in the basement, cleaning out the basement, like my man Ken, the content creator, or my barber, Mr. Edison, at a Twins Barbershop, who's probably cutting some hair but is checking us out. We understand that you may be able to not be able to get into the chat or into the Team Live discussion, but when you get a chance, certainly be a part of Team Replay and leave us some feedback in the comments. So let's get into this morning's discussion on the importance of why you need to have a live stream checklist. And towards the end of this, we're also going to touch on how to create your live stream checklist. Not only the importance of having one, and if you're an individual who may not have access to tools and graphic designs like Canva that can help you create one, we will certainly make this live stream checklist available to you. After we end the broadcast, we will pin it in the comments section for you. So let's get started. Having a live stream checklist. When I first created a live stream checklist for myself, I went into Canva, began to do some research on some of the things that needed to be in a live stream checklist that would help me to stay on point when I go live. But it's been now a little over close to 2 years now, which that's been since the huddle has been on. And I said, you know what? I need to update my live stream checklist. I need to not only update it, but even make it available to the Huddle community. And so let's get into this live stream checklist. And guys, let me know in the chat if you guys can see this checklist clearly in the chat by saying yes for me to make sure you guys can see this checklist, or if I need to make it bigger as best that I can. So you guys let me know, because I want to make sure that you guys really get great value out of this discussion. I'm just waiting for some comments in the chat. Just a couple of yeses here to make sure you guys see this checklist here. Perfect. Okay. Boom. So far, so good. Thank you, Tech Troublemaker. It's in the house, so I appreciate it. Ken says, got it. Got the coach already in the chat. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So let's get into this definition. I'm going to expand this a little bit. Let me just take myself off the screen and expand this with the stream deck. All right. The checklist. What is a checklist? Well, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary.com, it says that the word checklist here, the word checklist is basically means a list of things that you need to have checked or done. A list of things that you need checked or done. That's what the word checklist. So right now, our good friend Ken is in the process of transitioning and getting ready to move his family to a new state. And so he's cleaning out his basement. So I'm quite sure he has his checklist of things he needs to have completed today. He set his Saturday aside to make sure he could watch the huddle, but at the same time, while watching the huddle, he's cleaning his basement. So I'm quite sure that there's a checklist of things he wants done. And so that's what a checklist basically is about. A list of things that you need to have checked or done, so that way it goes off smoothly and successfully. Well, if you don't have a checklist, and if you are a person who's always spontaneous and who always wants to wing things, and I'm not talking about having some good Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstops or wherever your favorite wing stop. I'm talking about where you're just being just so spontaneous and you just want to do a live stream, but the live stream, unfortunately, is you're not seeing the results that you want. Maybe it's time for you to take a step back and have a checklist. I also look at a checklist as having a playbook. Every good coach, and Ken, the content coach, will tell you, every good coach has a playbook for the team. Your team as a live stream host is your audience, your team live and your team replay. You're the coach, and you need to have a playbook. You need to have a checklist, so that way you can, goal number one, add value to the audience. Goal number two, answer specific questions for your audience, whether on team live or team replay. Goal number three, address pain points. But you need a playbook. You need a checklist. So let's talk about the components of this checklist. Well, part one of this component of the checklist is about before you go live. Before you go live, spending some time coming up with some great content ideas for your live stream. How to live stream without an audience. How to live stream on being able to share new equipment that enhances your live stream. Just jotting down some content ideas so that you can come up with a compelling title and a compelling description that you put on YouTube before you hit and go live. But when they see it on the live stream, you got some content ideas that you've did some research, whether if you did that research through your YouTube bar, whether you did your research through third-party tools like TubeBuddy or vidIQ or Morning Fame, whatever your preference, or even just using Google search, keyword research, however you're doing this research to come up with these content ideas, the goal is you want to come up with a compelling topic and title for your live stream. And then next is you want to be able to work on the thumbnail. So you checked, you've gotten your compelling topic and title and description for the live stream. You can check that off. You can now move to the thumbnail, because the thumbnail is I believe, the most critical part before you go live, because you just don't want to throw any type of thumbnail, because a lot of people, when they watch live streams and they watch the replay of live streams, replay videos, they're doing it on their phone and they're scrolling on their phone. And so you want to have a compelling quality thumbnail that's going to stop them from scrolling and say, live stream checklist. Having a live stream checklist doing live stream. Man, I need to stop scrolling and check this video out. Check this live stream out. By having a compelling thumbnail and the topic and the description, you've increased your chances now of you getting an engaged person to be a part of your audience. And so you want to have a topic, a thumbnail, and as we touched about last week, we talked about having a run of show. Having a run of show that's going to be your live stream agenda, your live stream GPS, that's going to help you with doing the live stream. And so before you go live, you're working on putting your run of show together, especially if you're going to bring a guest on. Putting that run of show together, getting that guest's information from a bio to the questions or the tips that you want to discuss in the live stream, and making sure you have their contact information, how people can connect with them after the live stream goes off air. So you want to put all of that in your run of show, and then you want to schedule your live stream. Whether if you're scheduling your live stream directly through YouTube, or if you're a person who's using a live stream on another social media like LinkedIn and Facebook, you want to schedule the live stream, and you can schedule it through streaming softwares like we use here at StreamYard. StreamYard gives us the ability to be able to schedule our live streams so that we can be able to put in our topic or the title of the live stream. We can put in the description, which I'll jump right next to. After you're scheduling, you're putting in your description section right there in the live stream. You're putting your thumbnail in there, and you're doing all of this before you go live. This live stream checklist, you can just check, boom. I've scheduled my live stream. You can also schedule the time you want to go live. If you're going live on a future date, like we schedule our live streams like maybe 1 to 2 days before we go live on Saturday. And so we're just following the checklist. And as you follow the checklist, then you go ahead and before you completely schedule it, you can then determine if you want to publish it to make it public for everyone, if you want to make it private, or if unlisted. I typically make my live streams unlisted because it allows me to do some additional work behind the scenes before we go live. And some of the things that we do before we go live is we work on our tags. We make sure we have our hashtags. I put in live stream tip, hashtag live stream tips, and hashtag Walter Strong III, hashtag the Huddle, WS the Third. Just doing my best to make sure that if a word gets misspelled, we have our hashtag. I really enjoyed the discussion that Ken had on his live stream show last night. If you didn't check it out, certainly check out his live streams. He had a great discussion on hashtags. There are some people who don't feel like that they don't really serve that much value of importance, but there are others like myself and Ken. We feel that there is still value in having hashtags. And so certainly you want to check out that discussion that Ken did on his live stream. Check out the replay on his channel. So then, boom, you got your tags. Now you've published your live stream. And whether if you've published it to be public or unlisted, ultimately, if you do unlisted, it's important that once you've completed everything, you want to move it to publish. You don't want to turn around and leave it unlisted, because then you end up making that mistake then where people who may not be subscribed to the channel miss the opportunity to watch the live streams. So you don't want to make that mistake. And it's we've all at some point have made that mistake. I've made that mistake myself. But you want to do these things to make sure before you go live, these things on the checklist are basically covered. If you're a person who now has to do some promoting, you've published your live stream. Hey, YouTube has within after the live stream is published, you can click on the share button and you can begin to share it on LinkedIn. If you have an audience over there, if you can have an audience in Facebook or Twitter, you can share it through Instagram. You're promoting your live stream. So if you're a new person who's live streaming, or if you're a person who's still struggling to get an audience for your live stream, begin to use the practice of promoting your live stream. Promote it as if you know you are expecting 250 to 1,000 people who will be showing up in when you go live. Get into that practice of promoting. We can be asked sometimes to help promote others people's live streams and other people's platforms, but we got to get into promoting and believing in what we are doing as content creators. And so you want to promote your live streams, work on any overlays that you need to work on, set up any live stream music that you need to work on, and then any emails you need to send out to any guests, or if you have an email marketing list that you want to reach out to your community. So all of these things here, you may say, wow, Walter, that's a lot. Well, as you get used to using this live stream checklist for yourself, all of this will become second nature for you. It'll just easily come to you because you begin to learn the plays in the playbook. As a not only as a coach, but as a person who has to implement the plays from the playbook, these tips in before and going live becomes very easy. And so definitely you have to do that. Hey, if you're getting great value this morning on this masterclass on why you need to have a live stream checklist, I need to ask a favor of you. Need you to ask you to click the thumbs up button by hitting the thumbs up and like button for me, sharing this on your favorite social media platform that you are on the most. Not just any social media platform, because maybe you may not be on Twitter as much, but share it on the one that you're on the most so that you can be able to encourage someone and add value to someone so that they can check out this live stream for them. All right. So now we've gone live. Now it's time to go live. Now, I'm not saying hit the go live button right away. And I see a lot of comments in the chat. Ken says he agrees. Ash says got a standing ovation and applause from Ash here. Tech Troublemaker says hit that like button. That's right, my good man. Definitely. My good man, Robert Tyman, all the way from Arizona. Thank you. God bless you, my brother, for being a part of the huddle this morning. Give my regards to Minister William Sorrell and Bishop Holmes and Bishop Barry Hilton for me. Now it's time to go live. But going live now means making sure you turn on your computer. And if you turn on your computer and it's going to be powered up, make sure your power plug is plugged into the laptop, or if you're going to be using the battery, make sure you got sufficient battery so that way your stream doesn't get affected and your battery dies in midstream like it happened to me. So it can if it's happened to me, it's probably happened to you as well. So make sure that you got the computer on, go onto your streaming service, whether if that's StreamYard or Restream, or if you're using Ecamm. If you have a guest that week, bring on the guest. Make sure the guest understands they need to come on anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes so that both of you can cover audio, mic check, microphone 1 check, 2 1 2. Check that microphone, and then you want to make sure that the lighting is good. You want to make sure that if they don't have natural lighting like from like professional lightings like we do within our live streams. Make sure they can get in front of some natural light so that they're not in the dark trying to do a live stream. And then you want to make sure that they have good internet connection. We, as live streamers, understand it's best to have our live streams hardwired into our computer through our Ethernet cord. But if the guest can't do that, just make sure that they're in a good place from an internet connection where it's not going in and out, because it just affects the quality of the live stream. It affects the quality of the live stream if the guest is going in and out of you, or if they're dropping off and on. If you have a time show, if you want to have it get completed between 30 to 45 minutes, you want to make sure that internet connection is good. Okay, so you got those things covered. All right, it's time for you to put on your game face. Get yourself in the zone. Get yourself in that place where you're ready to say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, do me a favor, grab yourself a cup of coffee because it's time for the huddle. I got my game face on. I'm in the zone. I'm locked in, ready to be able to add value to Team Live and Team Replay. But you see, if you are not in the zone, if you don't have your game face on, your audience is going to be able to tell it. Team Live is going to be able to see it. Team Replay is going to be able to pick it up. Now, you may be going through some things in life. We're all living and traveling on this journey called life. You have your own set of shoes, and I have my own set of shoes. However, if you committed to doing this live stream, whatever the challenge that you may be going through, and that's what I really admire Ken. He's in the transition of, moving to another state and some things going on in his life. And, we're not going to put on what's here on the chat, but he's been going through some transitions and they're not bad or anything, but he's been going through some transition. But he's been consistent with the live streams on Monday and Friday. Ash has been consistent with his live streams and putting up content. Tech Troublemaker, Auntie Denise, you've all been consistent in doing your live streams, though you're walking and journeying down this pathway called life. So you have to have your game face. You have to be locked in when you go live. And once you do that, now it's time to go live. It's time now to give that hook on your live stream and say, this morning on the huddle, we're going to be talking about 5 tips on helping you to be able to improve your live stream and add value to your viewers who are watching it this morning here on the Hub. And then boom, you go right into your audience music, whether if that audience music is 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or 9 seconds. Go into that audience music. And then boom, you greet your audience like we do here on the Huddle every Saturday morning. We go into, if we have a guest, we go into the introduction of the guest, and then we bring them on. And after that, we've done that. We get into the material. We get into the material, and we try to be mindful of everyone's time who's taking time out their schedule, who set their time to say Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, I got to do my very best, as long as I don't have any scheduled conflicts, to check out Walter and the Huddle. The same way every Wednesday night, I try to check out the Flash. And if I can't check out the Flash on Wednesday night, I just go on demand the next day and I check out the on-demand replay version of the latest episode of the Flash. Lately, what was the most popular show that people were talking about? It was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney. And people would show up every Wednesday at 12 midnight to check out Obi-Wan Kenobi. And if they didn't see it when it dropped on Disney right on Wednesday, at some point between Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, like myself, we checked out the replay. And so you want to be able to get into the material so that way individuals if they're on the replay, they're not listening to you just shouting everyone out in the chat from A to Z. And you know, you want engagement, but you don't want to go so much to an extreme that you got to shout everyone from A to Z out on in the chat, because it's going to hurt the replay. So get into the material, get into bullet points 1 and 2 of the live stream. And if you're a person who's starting to see some engagement in the audience, like we have here on the in the huddle, and you're doing a PowerPoint, make sure you just engage and acknowledge. Engage and acknowledge those that are in the chat, and keep it moving and go into next bullet points 3 and 4. And then engage, go to bullet points 5, and then move to the summary. And then after you move to the summary, you know, take some time to go into some audience questions. And this all you're doing while you're live. You see the difference of how a live stream checklist can add so much structure, can add so much, give you more of a brand identity for your live stream, versus you just being random and being spontaneous and just going live and you're just winging it, not knowing what you're doing. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this live stream masterclass on having a live stream checklist, do me a favor, smash the like button by clicking the thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform. And if you have not subscribed yet to this YouTube channel, where we want to help you broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, click the alert notification button so you're alerted when we go live or when we upload a video. All right, so we've talked about before you go live. We talked about now going live. Now you're winding the live stream down and you're ready to end the broadcast. So you've taken some audience questions, maybe 2 to 3 questions, because maybe you can repurpose those questions in a video clip later on. So you know, keep it maybe 2 to 3 minutes and maybe addressing a question from the audience, and then having a question of the day, then a call to action, thanking your guests if you have a guest on, thanking those that are a part of Team Live, those who are going to be a part of Team Replay, thanking them for watching it. And then basically, after you've given your closing, you can then hit the outro music. I meant to put, yeah, I got outro here. I thought I had intro. And then after the outro music plays, maybe for 30 seconds to a minute, you know, don't go crazy like I did when I first started. I would play almost, you know, a 3-minute outro, and people have dropped off long already, and nobody is listening to the music but you yourself. So don't get crazy like I did. But after that, you end your broadcast. Now, does the ending of the broadcast end there? No, it doesn't. And I think this is where we need to kind of really, it's some opportunity for growth for all of us, those that have been doing this for a while, from Ken to Ash to Denise to Tech Troublemaker. And if those of you who are watching that have not engaged in the chat, but you're listening, this is where the opportunity for growth really is. So now the broadcast ends. What's next? Broadcast is ended. You said goodbye to your guests. Well, now this is the time. Well, maybe you get you some water. Let me get me some water here. Clear my throat. And now you get you some water, get your little snack. You sit down, and now you start adding your chapters to the replay video. Add the chapters in it, so that way, if it's an hour to an hour and a half live stream, maybe the individual who's going to be watching the replay, part of Team Replay, maybe they can't commit to watching the whole hour to an hour and a half live stream. Put some chapters in, so that way they can kind of maybe skip the intro and maybe go into the first 2 tips. And then they'll come back and maybe watch the next 3 tips. And then after that, listen to the 5th and the summary tips, and put the chapters in. Put the chapters in, so that way you are putting the replay in its best possibility where you can get more replay engagement. put it back, the chapters in. Not only do you want to put the chapters in, just going to do something right quick. Perfect. Um, then you want to do the end screens. Put your end screens in so that there is a video or a live stream that continues their watch engagement, where they just don't stop with watching a couple of chapters, but they can see an end screen where they can click on to the next end screen and watch more content. So you want to do that with the end screen. Put the end card, and then after that, you get to pinning your comment. Not pinning a comment in the comment section to start some engagement in comments. Maybe putting a previous live stream that you did the week before, like the run of show, and saying, hey, if you missed last week's live stream, and you've enjoyed this one, here's the link to the other one, and you can watch that. And so you're doing all these things that the live stream needs to be able to have more replay views, more engagement, and which will help retention, I believe, in people spending more time on your channel. Tech Troublemaker says, this is a great checklist. I wish, which is a great checklist. You wish you were that organized. Oh man, you're too modern. You got your own method, but I believe also, Tech Troublemaker, we need to be able to share some of our tips and tools that we use amongst ourselves. Maybe pull them together and share them together as a live stream community, and that way we can better help each other grow. The word of God says iron sharpens iron. And so if I'm sharing these tips on a checklist, if any of you guys don't have a live stream checklist, let me know in the chat if you have one by saying yes. And if you do, put it in the checklist for me, in the chat for me, if you have a live stream checklist. And if you don't, put no. And what we're going to be doing after this, the pinned comment for this replay video is going to be the link to this checklist. Right now, I'm in the process of working on my website. We have an email marketing list where you can sign up on my website, which I put the link in the description where you can sign up. But I'm having some issues where once you sign up, it should immediately give you access to the checklist. So me and my editor, Spoke Creative, were testing it out, and for some reason it wasn't allowing him to be able to access the checklist after he had signed up on the email marketing. So that's the reason why I'm going to pin it in the comments section for those who don't have it for a short, just for a short time. And then ultimately the goal is to direct them to the email marketing list. But if you are interested in signing up to our Huddle community, there is a link in the description that you can go to our Huddle community page and sign up to our email marketing list. So I don't see any yeses or no's, so I'm going to assume everyone has a checklist for themselves. But we want to make it available, especially for new individuals who are getting into live streaming. So ending your broadcast. So we kind of covered these things here. Summary time. Key components to a checklist before you go live. You want to have a before you go live section on your live stream, and then you fill that part out. Then the next part is it's time to go live, not just go and hit the live button, but there's some steps you got to fill in there. And then in your broadcast. Now, before we get into questions, what I want to, because the title was how to create a live stream checklist. Well, this checklist, I'm just waiting. Hopefully you guys can see this. This was created in Canva. And so Canva has some templates here that you can basically just choose here and find the right checklist. And you can change these templates, because a lot of them that I saw were for weddings or grocery lists. But I was just scrolling and scrolling for the right type of format that I wanted for my checklist. And you have access to these things from the free version as well as the paid version. So if you see right here where my pointer is, that's the one that I use there, which was a standard office supply checklist that a business would use. And then it basically allowed me to just kind of like configure it the way that I wanted to use it. And so that's how we end up putting this checklist together. So if you have Canva, and if you are looking to put a checklist together, you go right and click in search bar checklist, and you can use one of these templates. But if you are an individual who is in need of a checklist, you can certainly get one here at the Huddle. And so we wanted to also share not only the importance of why you need to have a checklist, but how you can put a checklist together. So we wanted to give you that extra value in the checklist. And so let me just expand this here. Boom. So those of you who are in the chat, a part of Team Live, if you have any questions, we'll take a few questions here from those in the chat. Any additional comments? There have been some great comments all through this discussion that we have been having here on the Huddle amongst one another. And so we want to kind of put these things out. Last week we talked about having a run of show, and so we wanted to go the next step of having a checklist. Boom, boom, boom. I see a comment here. Boom. Using a specific browser. Ken has a comment here, so let me go to it. Come on. There we go. Scroll down to Ken's comment. Okay. Okay, maybe I caught this comment in mid of a conversation that he was having. I asked people they would not mind using a specific browser that works best with Ecamm. Okay, I guess that I may have caught this comment in midstream of a discussion you guys were having amongst one another, which is great. We definitely want to encourage that. Yes, be sure to sign up to the Huddle Community, where you can be a part. And what we're going to be doing with that email marketing list is, sending out a newsletter once a week, just sharing some tips to encourage one another. I'm going to be pulling on some fellow content creators like Ash and Ken can help to contribute and share some tips and some strategies with the Huddle community themselves. So I'll be using, and asking you guys to contribute towards the list, so that way it'll provide some exposure as well as we build this Huddle community up. So these are just some of the few things that we in the pipeline have that is moving. And so as you guys see how this live stream checklist is put together, along with the presentation at the end of it, especially if you're sharing it with someone else, you can be able to, at the end of it, be able to put some information about yourself and how individuals can connect with you, and just encourage them to like, share, and subscribe. And so this was I put together this week, and as I was working on putting this week's live stream together, I was actually going to be talking about how to come up with some great live stream content ideas. And I decided to put that to next week's live stream. And I said, this flows great with last week's live stream discussion, to run a show to share about the importance of having a live stream checklist. And so we wanted to share this with you guys who are part of Team Live, and those of you who will be watching the replay. Hashtag Team Replay in the comments section. Those of you who will be watching that. So guys, give me your thoughts. Do I get a thumbs up for this live stream checklist? Give me some feedback in the chat section. Those of you who are watching, If you can, give me, you know, do I get a thumbs up or do a thumbs down for this checklist? Love to guys get your feedback here who are checking this out. And so we want to get some feedback. And so that's it for this morning's discussion on live streaming. Live streaming here. And so we are excited as we are moving forward each week. We're just putting out some content that's very practical, content that can be used right away. As I said, live stream checklist is, oh, there we go. I got 3 thumbs up from Tech Troublemaker. There we go, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So, this is a playbook that you can begin to put plays into action. So that way the live stream is adding value. Gotta run, but love the content. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it, Robert. Thank you, sir, for checking us out. Boom. I got 3 thumbs up as well. Okay. So, all right. The word of God says, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter is established. So we got this established, that this is a quality thumb list, quality checklist that we can share with others. And like I said, once this live stream is over, we're going to pin the link in the comment section as a pinned comment. So if anyone wants to have access to it until we work out the bugs on the emailing list on the contact side, we're going to make this available in the pinned comments for maybe a week or 2. And then after that, access is only going to be through the email marketing list exclusive, because that way it helps to build engagement and building the email list and building the community. So we want to have that free lead magnet available to those who sign up. So, all right. So I guess I got to go back to my in broadcast part of the checklist, because I'm a person that believes you got to put into practice what you do. Okay, so let's go back to, since we're on in broadcast, boom. So we've did question of the day. We did questions from the audience. Question of the day: do you have a live stream checklist for you as a content creator, and are you using it? Drop down in the chat or on the comment section and give us a yes or no, and how are you using it to help improve your live streams. Give us that feedback. That's the question of the day. We shared the call to action of taking advantage of the live stream checklist. And so again, now we're into that part where you are the guest, the audience. So we want to thank you for checking us out this morning here on the live stream. And then we have, we've done all that. So all what is left is the closing. And so we want to thank everyone for checking this out this morning here on the Huddle, being a part of Team Live. And those of you who are a part of Team Live, but maybe you were working, but you just couldn't engage in the chat because of what you were doing, that's fine. Definitely give us some feedback as a part of Team Replay in the comment section. YouTube sees that by you engaging in the comments. They see you engaging and clicking the thumbs up. And so this is the signal to them that this is some great content that needs to be shared with others. So do us a favor and do that when you get a chance. And so as we close out, the word of God says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that will prevail in our lives, especially in these critical times that we're living in. Make a quality decision today and let God's purpose prevail in your life. We will see you next week on The Huddle. God bless.